Hi, I'm Duncan Moss, and I'd like to welcome you to my latest video blog. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that I haven't spoken about at all as yet, and I think this will probably be the only time I talk about it. I want to talk about depression and my experience with depression. I hope very much that some people out there will find it useful. I think we've all got different. Those who do experience depression have all got different stories, and I'm not going to tell you my life story or anything like that. But I will try to briefly go through maybe some of the causes of my depression, and uh, here goes. I'm adopted, and very recently, i.e., in the last within 2 years, I've been diagnosed as having attention deficit hyperactive disorder, uh, which would explain quite a lot of reasons why I struggled so much at school. And I used to worry about school all the time, tests, exams, homework. Um, I used to bury myself in television and films whenever I could to get away from it all. I guess that was my escape route. I can trace my depression to back to about when I was 10 or 11, the very beginnings of it. And as I say, I had very strict parents, which is good. Uh, but they could be a little stifling at times. And I was sent to a public school because my father and grandfather and several great uncles had gone there, and it was to keep up with tradition. And I struggled there with up until O level, and then I stayed to do A levels, and found it very difficult. And it was one of the only schools in the country that still did Saturday school, which was a waste of time. That's what some of the staff, a lot of the staff thought it was a waste of time. Had I not had Saturday school, I would have probably got a Saturday job and supplemented my pocket money a bit and done things concentrated on my hobbies. The A level I found unbearable, and really I should have left after 1 year. I was told to give up my history, which was one of my subjects, which was a shock to me because I've always been good at history and enjoyed it. But the master said, although I worked very hard, he didn't think I stood a chance of passing, and therefore it would be better for me to give up and concentrate on my other subjects. At the time, we had a headmaster who was an acting headmaster. We were waiting for a new headmaster, and he didn't want to make a decision about allowing me to give up the A level. He wanted it to be given to the headmaster, who didn't really know me, and I felt that was quite weak-willed, and because I'm told with one breath that I don't stand a chance of passing this exam, and with the other breath, oh, you might not be allowed to give it up. And I was struggling with my other subjects as well, and during the summer holidays in between A level, I had the most terrible depression. I was at a Christian youth group, and we went on a sort of holiday, a week away with talks and stuff, and I spent a lot of the time in a very bad state, just because I was so worried about thinking that I was going to fail my A levels and everything, and I really should have left. But at the time, the stigma of leaving a school like the one I was at would have been considered quite major. Um, and of course things like depression and emotional problems. This was the early 1980s. You didn't tend to talk about things like that with the freedom you do now. I was allowed to give up history. I did come out of the school with one A level and another O level pass, but that wasn't considered to be up to very much. Certainly not as far as the school was concerned. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that the school is doing very well in this day and age, and it's one of the most successful schools in the country. And I wish the pupils there, boys and girls, and the staff every posterity. Prosperity. That's it. Posterity. I wish them all every success, as I wish everybody else every success. As I say, if what I'm talking about can help people out, then that's all that matters. Once I went to college and got out of that awful environment and got a job and got a Saturday job with a little bit of work in the week, I was much happier. And I started making movies that were much longer because I could afford them. I didn't do particularly well during college, but I did get another A level, and I did film studies, which was only an AO at the time, and that was just wonderful. I did more work in that subject than I did in any of the other, as much work as I did in any other subjects. And then I started working full time. When dealing with depression, I think it's not a particularly healthy word to say suffer from depression. I think it's much better to say you battle with depression. If you think of yourself as a warrior rather than a victim, I think you'll go much further. My depression gets quite bad when there are loads of mundane things going on in my life. I'm very creative, and the Lord was gracious enough to put me and my brother next door to three lads, Adam Giles and Dominic Masters, and their father, production designer Tony Masters, and their mother, the actress Heather Sears, and they were very creative. And bouncing off them, I was very creative as well. And those projects really helped me combat depression. The school I was at, it was because it was so competitive. It was very bitchy, and which I didn't like at all. But that's in the past. As far as I'm aware, there are three types of depression you can get. One of them is manic depression, which one is manic depression, I think, is the one where you go up and down. You can be in the seventh heaven 1 minute and down in the dumps the other. Clinical depression is where your body is just of a type that pumps fluid into your brain, which causes. And the other one is reactionary, which is basically based on your experience of life and bad experiences of life, which have caused you to have depression. I believe that manic depression is now known as bipolar. Well, changing the name of it isn't going to get it cured, is it? As I say, I've been able to work most of my life, 26 years in the film industry, 2 in retail, 3 seasons as a ride attendant, and 7 years as a care worker in quite a difficult care home. So you can lead a fulfilled life, although if for whatever reason you can't work because of depression, that is not to feel guilty about. Uh, everybody's got a different story to tell, as I've said. I think it's good to be able to talk about it with people you trust. If For me, I have a Christian faith, so that's important to me. Um, I have found that God doesn't tend to fish you out of problems. He tends to guide you through them. Whatever, if you've got a faith, whatever denomination or the other faiths you've got, if you find that helpful, that's terrific. And you may not, I have certainly found in my experience that some Christians are very, very helpful and kind, others are not. But that, of course, isn't God's fault. That's just human fallibility. I am very, very creative, and that's taken up a lot of my free time in life. I'm a massive fan of Laurel and Hardy, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, the two classic horror stars. I'm a massive Beatles fan, a massive Tolkien fan, and a massive Jerry Anderson fan. He of Thunderbirds and Stingray, and he himself fought depression for a number of years, and it didn't hold him back very much. And I think that above all things, if you do have depression and you can be down in the dumps, I think there's things you can do that can help you. If you can go outside for a walk, get plenty of fresh air and exercise, especially when it's lovely weather. If it's really baking hot, I think that doesn't help depression. I think you have to wait till it's a bit cooler. But entertainment, films, I love films. That can bring a lot of happiness. Hobbies, particularly ones where animals can be of tremendous help to you. Great companionship. They don't answer back. And groups where you can talk about these things. I don't think you need to try and make out that you've had the hardest time ever. A bit like I've had a hard time, you've had a hard time, or what do you think I've had? Yeah, in a discussion, you don't want to turn it into a Monty Python sketch but by sharing difficulties and maybe you're through them, maybe you're not. I think it's always good. And as I say, you can lead a full life. There's some things that you may have to do. You may have to ask of you two things. One of them, do not despair. And the other one is, don't make the mistake that I did in the 1980s. Seek help. And there's all sorts of things, the local councils. Don't try and think that it's something to be ashamed of, or you don't want to talk about it. I mean, I have got through. I didn't have counselling until 1996. Really, I should have had it in the early 80s, some 13, 14, 15 years earlier. But I know the Lord's always been beside me, and I just want you to say to you, please, wherever you are, if you are experiencing depression or got a member of your family that's experiencing depression, please don't despair. Do seek help. There are professional people you can speak to. But if you can't afford it, there are other avenues that will help you out. As I say, I think I've covered everything. I'm coming up to my 60th birthday. I'm still single. I would like very much to meet the right lady and get married. That's not. I'm not sending out a distress signal. Please understand that. At the moment, although depression does still come, I am a lot happier than I've been for a very long time, and I'm actually quite excited about the future. I don't see myself as over the hill. I see myself as still young. And a few years ago, after my 7 years as a care worker came to an end, when I was sacked after 7 years of loyal service, the company was taken over by a very toxic company, and I fought for 5 months to save my job. But unfortunately, the cards were stacked against me. I was moved about a bit and then sacked. I also, a few days after that, lost my girlfriend, which was so that was a double whammy. I for a few months was was knocked, winded, but then I joined a gymnasium and I started to have to do swimming quite regularly because I've got diabetes, I'm overweight, I've got bad blood circulation, my blood pressure, plus depression, and the attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So. There's a lot going on. I've got creative projects in my mind that I would very much like to do. I've also spent a bit of time getting some creative projects from the past put onto video films and stuff. But I don't believe in wallowing in nostalgia. I think you look for today and with your eye cocked on tomorrow. And as I say, I don't want anybody to despair. And please, if you feel like you want to take your own life, and I have felt that while I was at school and a couple of other times during my life, please don't. Please look for help, because despite the fact that the world has got a lot of problems and life is difficult. There's no two ways about that. Life can still be worthwhile and it can still be brilliant. So if anybody wants to share anything on below on my YouTube channel, I'd love to hear from you. If you want to forward this to a friend because you think it would be useful, then please do so. Please hit the like button if you like it, and please subscribe, because most of my blogs are about things that make people happy. The Beatles, the Monkees, old movies, and stuff. So, as I say, do hang on in there. I'm not an expert. I've only just tried to share some of my own experiences of life. Assuming single, loneliness can be a good thing. Sorry, a big contributor to depression. I've been very lucky through the fan club, science fiction fan clubs that I'm a member of, to have a lot of lovely friends, many of whom I only met last weekend when I went up to Leicester to a science fiction convention. Several people I know online. I met physically for the first time, which is lovely, because they're even nicer than the projected image on the online. So, and if you are lonely, you haven't got a lot of friends, well, try and join a social club or something. It takes a bit of courage to do that. It's not you're coming to a place and you don't know anybody. Maybe you could take a friend with you, but as I say, just socializing with people, having a good laugh about things, that can be a tremendous contributor. And one of the big things that battling depression that you can have is a sense of humour. It's very, very powerful. A sense of humour, provided the humour is directed in the right way and done for the right reasons. It mustn't be at somebody's expense. But a sense of humour can be a very, very powerful weapon against depression. So I'm signing off now. I hope this has been of use to somebody. Just basically, God bless. If anybody wants to talk to me about a problem they've got, I'm happy to listen. Take care, everybody. And I say, just I hope, wish you all every happiness and prosperity. God bless. Bye.